incentives for repatriating that money early, whether it's a lower rate before you go to a full system of territorial taxation that would encourage the money to come back sooner. And that could be tied to things like investing in infrastructure bonds, for example, that would help build our infrastructure here in the United States and create jobs. So I think there are a number of innovative ways we can look at that issue that ultimately would help growth here in the United States, help deal with the tax rate that we have right now and bring it down, and ultimately be a fairer model that we could use at the corporate level. With respect to the deficit and debt, what I would say is this. There are undoubtedly, it's something that we on both sides of the aisle have to address. One of the things, obviously, that makes it easier for government ultimately is a stronger economy. And I think as we saw in the 1990s, the last time we were actually running surpluses as opposed to running deficits, when you have larger growth of GDP and you have increasing wage growth, you have more revenue coming into the system. And that helps address the issue of where we are in balancing our books at the federal level. So, first and foremost, our fiscal policy should be focused on the issue of job growth and wage growth as well, and reversing the trend we've seen in the last 40 years, where for the bottom 90%, wages have been falling. We need to reverse that trend. That will ultimately help us in terms of the revenue coming in to the federal government. One of the last issues that was brought up was the issue with respect to Secretary Clinton and her emails. And what I'll say about that is this. And it was brought up in the context of whether the next Congress would presumably have some kind of activity regarding that, whether it's an investigation or something akin to that. No doubt that Secretary Clinton made mistakes. No doubt she's acknowledged that. Moving forward, though, I would say this. The American people expect that their elected representatives in the Congress, and for that matter, their elected representatives at every level, focus on working for them. Focus on some of the other issues that I've mentioned this afternoon, on job growth and creating a stronger economy. I don't think it would be productive for the next Congress to spend a whole lot of taxpayer dollars or time doing yet another investigation into an issue that the FBI has already investigated. Just as I don't think it would make a lot of sense for the next Congress to spend a lot of tax dollars or time investigating whether Donald Trump engaged in pay-to-play by giving a donation to the Secretary of State, to the Attorney General of Florida. At the time, they were considering whether or not they would investigate Trump University. That level of partisan politics is not where we should be focusing our attention. We should be focusing our attention on making our economy stronger and thereby making our communities stronger and moving the country forward. So with that, my manager, Eric Goldman, is giving me the sign. We have to go down to Center City by 1:30. I'm not sure we're going to make it quite then, but I'm sorry that I have to leave early. I apologize to Brian as well. And I once again would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here today to speak to all of you. And I look forward to building a strong relationship moving forward and working with you in the future. Thank you.
Mr. Fitzpatrick, we'd like to hear from you also, so feel free to take this in.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks Jeff for putting this together. Thanks Steve for the invitation. And I want to recognize Senator Bob Ness and Ned Smith, who's representing Representative Godsaw here. You guys have outstanding representation on the state level here for sure. And my name is Brian Fitzpatrick, and Jeff had indicated in the introduction, after about 14 years in the FBI, earlier this year I made the very, very tough decision to leave a job that I loved. It was the only job that I wanted since I was a little kid. It lived up to everything that I thought it would be and more. To do what I consider to be a very different public service, and that is to offer myself up on the ballot, to put myself on the ballot for consideration for the for the citizens of this district to represent in Congress, is one of 435 members.